episode 7.
Yep.
Pete and Chris podcast, still unsponsored and without a name, an official name. But Chris come up with a name. We're not even gonna say what it is. And he searched it to see if it was available, and like it wouldn't have been a good name for it. Definitely not the name we want to be. We don't want to be tied to it. Not at all. Not even a little bit. That's okay. We'll get it figured out. And still unsponsored, so you may hear smoke detector. The first sponsor, it's a $6 sponsorship. It's a couple 9-volt batteries. Get a shout out and everything. But until then, there it is.
There it is. The chirping birds. The ceiling birds.
Yeah, you will hear the smoke detector go off. It is what it is. Need 2 9-volts. Couple of them. Yeah, 'cause there'll be another one doing it soon, I'm sure. If that one's doing it, the other ones are doing it. So this week, for this episode, we're going to talk about something very interesting. Chris and I are going to do 10 people. I don't know if I can do a top 10 just because I haven't researched, I don't know. This is just off the top of our heads. 10 people, dead or alive, that we would have a meal with, or hang out with, have lunch with, dinner with. Get a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours to hang out with them, pick their brain, talk to them, whatever
conversation.
Yeah. So, with that being said, and you guys can chime in, say hi if you put. Well, they're not in there now, but somebody is hi. But yeah, so a lot of historical, interesting people, but careful what you forget. And I know with some of the people, I'm definitely going to say. Careful what you find out, because it's kind of like time travel, being able to do this. You could mess up something because you know.
Yeah. So would this be a thing? Is this a thing of that's what we would be doing? It would be going back in time to talk to these people, not just we can have them and then boom, they just pop up here to have a conversation with. We're going back into their time to talk to them.
Well, you'd have to talk to them.
Okay.
They wouldn't have even concept of this time.
Well, you just bring them here, and then they were here. So I got you though. Okay.
If they come here, they're going to have more questions than we do.
Well, I gladly talk to some of them.
What is it? Wow, what is this thing we're on? Is that a camera? No, that's my phone. Man.
We're going to talk about that later. But look, let me ask you some stuff. But okay, I got you. Top 10 really important people.
When I think about it, it seems like some of the stuff I find out, it could change the course of history.
Okay. All right.
I think, didn't Rage Against the Machine say that? Change the course of history.
I'm sure they did.
In the Renegades of Funk song.
Oh, yeah. I just listened to
a
bunch of their stuff.
So we're going to do 10 people each, and we're going to explain why we picked that person. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. The first one is, and this isn't, in order from favorite to least or anything like that. They're just 10 that I can think of. And I'd probably want to sit down with Ernest Hemingway, the writer, and just pick his brain, get his point of view on things and why he decided to write the way he did and stuff like that.
What was he famous for writing?
So one of the biggest ones I think is Old Man and the Sea. And then he had some really famous, like a book of short stories that were really good.
Man, I seem like I should know this. I don't know why. The Old Man and the Sea, isn't there like a moral to that story?
I'm sure there is. The basis for the book was that it was an old man that went out fishing all of his life, and he had this younger guy fishing with him. And the younger guy, his parents told him, that you can't fish with the old man anymore. He's not catching fish anymore. You're not making a living. Blah blah blah. So the kid came out and helped him set up one morning to go fishing, and the kid told him, he's like, my parents don't want me to go with you, and he's like, but I'm still going to. And the old man's like, no, you're not. You go do as your parents say. And the old man went out fishing by himself in a rowboat, and he hooked up with a marlin way out in the sea. Right. And this is back in the day of no fishing poles. This is hand lines. Throwing the line over your shoulder and pulling it in, that kind of stuff. And so the old man went out, hooked up with a marlin, fought it for 2 or 3 days, on only eating like a sandwich or two and drinking a little bit of water, catches the marlin. It's bigger than his boat. that he's got. So he ties it up next to the boat. And on his way back, he's saying the whole time, he's like, oh, I hope I can get this thing back, show everybody the prize. On his way back, sharks hit the fish and they eat the entire thing. By the time he gets back, there's nothing left but bones. But everybody saw that the old man did catch that fish, so it wasn't just a story. And, woke up the next morning, the young boy was there, and, helped him, put some stuff on his wounds, his hands and his shoulders and stuff like that. And they packed up and went back out fishing. And that's how the story is. It's a really good book, though, very very detailed, through the story. But I'd like to talk to him about his writing style and stuff like that, and just his life. He was in the war, got blew up, and messed his leg up real bad. Spent a lot of time in Cuba. That'd be really cool to talk to him about life, in those kind of places.
Ernest Hemingway. I wonder if a lot of people would pick him.
I don't know. I like to read. He's one of that's The Old Man in the Sea is one of the first books I read as an
know
adult.
what the Ernest Hemingway thing is. Chris watches Jeopardy nightly. That's his thing.
It is.
There's been a Ernest Hemingway category or something, or he wants to. The next time it comes up on Jeopardy, he wants to nail that. I think that might be what's up.
It could be.
So my first one. I went in a completely different direction. I could change a lot of history with mine. I really could. I want to go back and talk to Don Shula, the all-time winningest coach in the NFL.
And he was the coach for
the Dolphins.
Yep,
well, before then, way back, the Colts, and then the Dolphins.
Okay.
Never won a Super Bowl when he was coach of the Colts. Man.
He never won a Super Bowl, period?
Yeah, with the Dolphins.
But just not with
Marino. The Dolphins ain't won a Super Bowl since 72.
Okay.
So they had Marino there Don Shula had Marino there for 13 years. I believe Marino played, give or take.
Wow.
And the whole time, Marino threw for 5,000 yards when throwing for 4,000 was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like you're the MVP if quarterback threw for 4,000 back then.
Yeah.
And Marino threw for 5,000 before anybody did.
Okay.
Way before these guys now did. There's a video of Tom Brady and they're like, who's the best passer of the football? He's like, without hesitation, he's like, Dan Marino. And so I would sit down with Don Shula, and in 3 hours, I would convince him. I'd be like, look, bro. And I swear, when I was young, when they had Marino, even when I was young, I was like, man, why don't they run this offense? Like, Dan Marino was so awesome in the 2-minute drill. And that was the only time that they would turn him loose. On third down, they'd put him in the shotgun and on the 2-minute drill. Yeah. And he was unstoppable. He had Mark Duper and Mark Clayton and Nat Moore. They was loaded with receivers. It was ridiculous. He couldn't, the statistics are there. Look it up. I'm sure he has the best 2-minute numbers in the history of football. But the whole time, Don Shula was an old school coach and was like, oh, now all we need is a running game. Man, you got the best thrower of the football ever. Quickest release ever. Top three Hall of Fame receivers. Man, throw it. Let's have a track meet. And we'll run the ball in the second half after we score 40 in the first half.
What did he have, like a 2-second release?
Oh, it was faster than that. The way his dad taught him to hold the ball when he was a kid. They were like, anybody that throws, even the best, he had no wind up.
Yeah.
Wherever he held it from, he fired it.
Oh, okay.
And he had a cannon.
Huh.
But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if Dan Marino would have got to play that way, because he was a generational talent, he really was. There probably wouldn't he was after Montana, but Steve Young probably wouldn't have won a Super Bowl or two like he did. The Cowboys probably wouldn't have won some of theirs. Jimmy Johnson might not have got to say, how about them Cowboys? I'm talking history changing stuff if Don Shula would have sit down and talked to me. So, I've always even the last 3 years that he was coaching when he broke the record and all that stuff, before he retired, I didn't care about him being an all-time winningest coach. I was like, man, I'm ready to move on. When we still had Marino, I was like, man, we need to get rid of him. We need a young, offensive-minded...
Mike McDaniel?
I don't know if he was around. No, our coach now, our coach wears capri pants. If you guys don't know, or watch football, the Miami Dolphins coach, his name is Mike McDaniel. He come from the Shanahan organization who coached the 49ers, and the guy that coached the 49ers, his dad used to coach the Broncos with Elway. So, they've been into football. Then he grew up around them and stuff. He wears capri pants.
He does.
Those are not, that's not how a football coach is supposed to dress. That's just how I feel. Google it and get back to me and let me know if you think I'm right. Mike McDaniel, Miami Dolphins head coach. Hit images and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. He might as well, the pants he's wearing, he might as well be wearing some LA Gear high tops, it looks like, or something. Like some ruffled socks or something. I don't know. I can't believe that they don't give him a hard time.
Yeah.
But that's off track. But yeah, I would go back and talk to Don Shula, and I would change the history of football in the last 25, 30 years for sure.
Okay. That's a pretty good one. They probably would do some changing for football if you could sit down and just tell them, like, look, man, I know the future, and if you keep wanting to run the ball, you're not going to win another Super Bowl. Your career is going to be over, and you're going to ruin Dan Marino.
Well, it wouldn't even be that. Man, I knew it back then. I swear I did. I used to tell people, like, man, they don't. Shula, I was like, you want to get rid of Shula? I was like, yes, man. I said, I'm tired of trying to get a running game. We have Dan Marino throw it.
Yeah.
Throw it down their throats.
Yeah.
Like, the defense knows you're throwing it. It's okay. They can't stop it.
Yeah. That's right.
I mean, he was like, but and the Dolphins would have, we'd have won, 10 Super Bowls probably.
Well, for my next one, I'm probably going to have several music people on here being a musician, so I'll go ahead and throw out the first one. And it might be somebody different. It's not Fish, which I'll go ahead and show my shirt today. Page side, rage side, always. But it's not Fish, not this time. It's going to be Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead. I'd like to sit down and have a conversation with him. I'd like to have two conversations with him. One, completely sober, on nothing at all, and just have a good, clean conversation about where he came from, and just pick his head musically, because he had conquered the blues music by the time he was in his 20s, I think. Bluegrass and blues music. And then I would like to sit down and I would like to have a psychedelic conversation with Jerry. I think that would be really interesting, because he was always known as Captain Trips was his name back in the day. So I think that'd be really cool. And then I'll tell a little story that everybody already knows this, but this is one of my favorite Jerry Garcia stories. This is long after he had quit doing any sort of seeing mind-altering things, and there was a birthday cake that somebody had dropped a whole bunch of stuff in, like 100 hits of some stuff, and put it in the icing on the cake. And Jerry, being a sweet tooth guy, walked by and dug his finger through the icing right before the show started. Sucked down a little bit of icing, and they told him as he was walking out, they were like, Jerry, that stuff was full of some mind-altering things. And he was like, oh my God. And, he's out there playing and says that his guitar starts to turn into this snake-looking creature or something like that, throughout the night. This is, like I said, after he had quit doing that kind of stuff on stage. And I'd like to chat with him about stuff like that, and just go and have one of those deep mind-altering conversations, which I don't do stuff like that. And anybody who knows me knows that I don't dabble in that kind of stuff anymore. When I was young, I may have, but not anymore. So.
Yeah, I saw Darth Vader. I ain't never done nothing like that ever in my life again. I learned my lesson.
So
teach me.
But that would be my other, my number 2 pick.
All right. So sports wise, because I've always been a huge sports fan. One of my all time favorite athletes. Man, and like I said, some of the things that I'm going to change history. I'm going back to talk to Kobe. I don't know. I may go back to him early in his career, but I'll be like, look here, bro. You need to stay off the damn helicopter in 2020.
Yeah.
January 2020, you and your daughter Gigi. Y'all need to stay. I don't know how it would alter the universe or whatever, but if we're going to tell people stuff that could bring them back, I mean, of course, my first thing would be go to family. But that's kind of like we're talking about famous people. Nobody knew my family.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's
we're
right.
like, so I would go and tell Kobe like, hey man, it's you can't get on that helicopter that day. I would definitely want. I feel like I would warn him, even if I could only do it the day before. Be like, man, you can't fly tomorrow. Be like, man, you'd be like, man, you just got to trust me, man.
yeah. I mean, that could be
drive.
Yeah,
it's Sunday morning. Ain't nobody out. The traffic ain't as bad as normal. Like, just drive this morning. This one time.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and I'm not gonna put him on my list, but Stevie Ray Vaughan would be one of those for me. To my, hey, look, man, I know you're getting ready to leave this concert and you wanting to go fly in your helicopter to get where you're going, but
was it a helicopter?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a helicopter that he was in. If I'm not mistaken, I think he left from North Carolina going it's either leaving North Carolina or he was coming North Carolina. I don't know,
okay.
But
yeah, I like, because I don't think Kobe would be putting up with the stuff that LeBron has done. I don't think he would have signed off on it at all. And I could still wear my Lakers shirts and stuff. Like I have Lakers shirts and stuff that I will not wear. I have a pair of LeBron shoes that I wear sometime, and I get a lot of compliments on them. But like, they were gifted to me. They were literally given to me. I wouldn't have never bought them. They're not cheap shoes either, but I never would have bought them. But they were gifted to me, and I have a really nice pair of Kobe's. They're like my favorite shoes. The last ones he made before he passed, and I have, of course, a couple pair of Jordans also.
Tina says famous people, she can't think of anyone but God.
He's not a person, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, that one's coming.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll get there. The next one for me is I would go back in time and I would want to get to know Jimmy Buffett, the musician, and I would want to join his band. I'd want to talk him into letting me join the band.
Like over the last part of his career, like he's still gonna go when he did.
No, I'm the age I am now, and I go back to when he was about 30 years old and be like, hey, I'd go meet him at that first bar he was at where he wrote his first big song, and I would become his buddy, and that I would have been his songwriting buddy. That'd be somebody I want to go back and meet, and that would change.
All your whole life, you'd have changed it.
Well,
I mean, I would. No, you're in the core for band.
That changes stuff, because I wouldn't change my whole life, because there's parts of my whole life over the last 15 years or so that I would absolutely want to keep. So, okay. But other than that, yes. Yeah, I'd want to be the one to, write Margaritaville with him. I'd want to live that life of the party, the beach party. You're
a lightweight drinker.
I am a lightweight drinker, but
I don't even drink, but so that's really something. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna have to do a late night podcast one night, and then let's see what happens on Pete with 3 shots of some liquor.
No.
Yeah. What do y'all think? Y'all want to see Pete drinking? See, he's gonna throw up. So.
Man, I have a headache and stuff. Oh, that's just terrible.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
But, I mean, Jimmy Buffett's been around since I'm trying to think, it was at least the 70s that he's been doing music on a popular level. And, yeah, I definitely want to go back. And I would tell him, too, Jim, you need to stay out of the sun so much, man. We need to make sure you got sunscreen on, because that's what got him was whatever that type of cancer is. I can't remember right now. But I would tell him, we got to wear some sunscreen so we can keep you going and keep that party going till you're even older. I miss Jimmy Buffett, y'all, in case y'all can't tell.
He probably used sunscreen, I bet. He spent a lot of time in the sun.
I don't know, man. He was a dark fella.
I mean, yeah, he's tan all the time. That's what he did. I guess that was his life.
Yeah.
I'm not that big of a Jimmy Buffett fan.
Not at all. Yeah, well.
I don't know, man. Like all his music is like about partying and stuff, and I don't really party.
Yeah.
Like that. And
it's good
Jimmy Buffett concert, people, we're going to see Jimmy Buffett. That is we got to get really drunk occasion, normally.
Yeah.
So even more,
I didn't.
it makes me really like,
You can still have a good time though without drinking at the Buffett Show.
25,000 drunk people and you're sober. That's a great time. Great time.
I understand that.
Yeah, I don't like. Jimmy Buffett's not in the top 100 musicians of all time, or musical acts or artists. Like, I wouldn't. He's not in the top 500.
You're wrong, but it's a matter of you're not wrong. It's a matter of opinion.
Spandau Ballet is not better than Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett is better than a lot of people. Yeah, Jimmy Buffett's songwriting ability.
I just threw a name out there.
I didn't know who that was anyways.
It's a true song. This much is true.
Oh, that's right. That's your 80s band that you like right there.
I like how I just do a random. I just picked a random band. I just wanted to say somebody that I thought was better than Jimmy Buffett.
Well,
like I know he's got his fans that would completely disagree with that, but whatever.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I'm not going to keep doing this, but I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to Vegas to watch the Tyson fight that night. But right after the fight, I'm going to stop Tupac. No, I'm going to hang out with him that day and go to the fight with him. I'm like, look, bro, like you can't jump on Orlando Anderson, and you need to stay away from Sugar tonight, and you need to chill right here. You need to just not go out because you're not going to be here with us anymore.
Yeah.
But I would hang out with him, and then somehow like that would be like I get to hang out with him, but right before it was time for me not to hang out with him, I'd be like, hey man, I gotta tell you something, bro. Like you don't know this, but I would tell him something about that night that he was planning on doing or something, so he'd know like, how you know that? I'd be like, man, I'm telling you, but dude, you need to not go. Like I would not let Tupac go.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was we were the same age. Watch him come up with his career. Is there more interesting, smarter people that you can learn from going back? As we move up to this, absolutely. I just wanted to Kobe and Tupac. I'm going to keep both of them around.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm big fans of their work, sports wise and music wise, and yeah, I'm not going to let them go.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on the Tupac thing. That was.
He's 25 years old, man. He's too young.
Yeah. He was only 25?
25 or 26. I think he's 25.
Man.
Yeah, he did a lot in 25 years.
And he really did. We talked about it a little bit the other day, but that All Eyes on Me album, man, I don't think there's a better rap hip-hop album out there.
That's a good.
Yeah, that one's one of my, that's a go-to for me.
Remember
if I'm going to listen to it. Who?
Remember on MySpace you could have a song?
Oh, yeah.
That was the song, All Eyes on Me on my MySpace.
All right. My MySpace was decked out back in the day. I had all the cool stuff on there.
I was really mad about Facebook at first.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I thought MySpace was better. It was it was the first thing MySpace is cool. But
see that's somebody. I'd like to go back whenever I'd like to go back and tell Zuckerberg not to be such a douche. So like, dude, you got this great thing going on. He had like this, you would think he'd be a really cool guy too. And I'm not going to bash for a second here, but you think he would be a cool guy, man. I mean, he had this like extravagant Lord of the Rings themed wedding. Like everybody that was there was supposed to be Lord of the Rings dressed up, the hobbits and like Elrond and stuff like that.
Right.
And, you'd think he'd be a much cooler guy, especially with how much money he's made and stuff. But I'd like to go back and just tell him, dude, you've got a great idea here. That don't go in and turn into a little turd, man. That's kind of what I feel like he did. Like he backstabbed everybody is how I feel about it. So I'd like to go tell him, be his friend and be his advisor to help him make better decisions. So.
All right. Well, all right. So. The next, like I said,
oh my God, y'all!
I'm changing history. I'm going to change some things. The next person, if I could go back into history, a person dead or alive, and sit down and talk to them for like 3 hours, I'm going to talk to myself at like 15.
What you going to tell yourself at 15? This is a good one. I actually like this.
I'm gonna. one of the things that I'm going to tell my, well, 15 or 16, either one. I'm going to, I'm going to tell myself, like, you're going to look back on a couple things and you'll never live with regret. Because I live with no regrets. Like, I've had a great life, I promise. Like, I can have no complaints.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I may have, like, I was a really good swimmer. Like, I had state records, junior Olympic records and stuff when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I probably might have, like, I kind of quit when I got to high school. Because I played so much sports when I was a kid and stuff. And high school, I was fully, I had to make time for girls.
Yeah.
So
which I'm sure you did.
Swimming is a lot of practice time. So like when something had to go, that's what went, was swimming.
Man,
so I may rethink that.
That's wild.
And sports wise, football, man, I was really good. I played quarterback. I was good, but and super competitive, like just all around. Like I was really good at football, but basketball I was really good at, and I probably like somewhere during my early high school years, I was like, man, I was really good, and I even got to where I could dunk a basketball. 10th grade, at the end of 10th grade, I could
never dunk,
and
never had the height.
I was 5'11" and a half, 6 feet maybe, and I mean I could just jump. Like it puzzled the football coaches and stuff because I could out jump everybody in the school on a vertical, but I wasn't nowhere near the fastest person. It was like that. Usually that goes kind of hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like, but I literally could. I had a higher vertical than anybody, and but there was so many guys that year with the varsity team. They went to the state championship, and there was so many. I just seen how many 6'6", 6'7" guys that could do everything I could do.
Yeah,
and I was like, man, I don't know, man. And probably could have went to Stetson, which is a law school. And Chris, you know me for a long time. I would make a kick-ass lawyer. Like, make no mistake. If I went to law school and that's what I knew and what I did, I would be good at it.
Oh yeah, well,
guaranteed.
Yeah, the defense can't do nothing if you talk the whole time.
Right. There you go. Exactly. But like that, like those two things definitely would have changed. But I would tell myself, like, these are the things, and you're going to do. Like, I would say, do what you're going to do. Do whatever you want to do. Like, I'll turn into whatever you do, but I'm not going to be mad at you for anything. And I would tell him, I'd be like, but you have a destiny with these two kids that you got to create. You have to do that.
Okay.
I'd be like, you can't mess that up.
Yeah.
I would tell myself, like, look, you know you're going to know when it's going to happen, and you just got to roll with it. You got to keep this to yourself.
Yeah.
And I really I trust me. I would have kept it to I trust me not to tell anybody what I've told me. I have 100% trust in me.
Sure.
So
that's pretty good.
And like I said, it wouldn't, and it's not that I would change anything necessarily, but I would, I don't know, it would give me a chance to step back and go, which direction? Because like even with the basketball, man, I was like, man, these giant dudes, even though I could jump and stuff. Well, man, when I got to be like 19 or 20, I played against a lot of guys that played Division I, like top 20 college basketball.
Yeah.
And man, I could hold my own, and actually, I was better than some of them. And I was like, man, maybe I should, because I played against some, like, I played against some really good players growing up, and it made me a good player. And, like, my body hadn't developed to where I had the strength to play with big, giant guys like that.
Yeah.
Where when I got 19 or 20, even though I wasn't huge weight-wise or anything, man, I could, 6'6" dudes. I was like a 6'6". I was 6 feet and could lock a 6'6" player down on defense.
That's pretty good.
So
that's pretty good.
Like, and then, like I said, some of the guys a couple times that I played against, and then I'm literally watching them in the tournament on TV, going, man, the dude couldn't stop me. And look, he's in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
So
that's wild.
I would definitely have to think about some stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you never know. But I would still have to somehow squeeze Ty and Alyssa in there. Like, I wouldn't want to change that.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't change the monkeys. I'd be like, you're gonna have monkeys one day. Just go with it. Do it. Trust me.
Yeah, I bet you never think you was gonna be doing that. Whenever you was coming up to me, I'm gonna have 3 monkeys over
Let's
here.
See, Boo will be 16, so 17 years ago. No, I had no idea. I would have been like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Really? It took about a year. Yeah, so 17 years ago.
Yeah, you talking about anything that you would change? This is off topic, but the one thing that if I could go back and tell myself one thing, I would probably kick myself in the ass for ever smoking a cigarette. That would, and I've done some cool stuff, and I'd like to do it again. But I would probably.
I'm glad you said that because I would smack the shit out of me.
Yep.
The young me, like, you lost your damn mind.
Yep, for sure. Because that's one of the biggest mistakes. That's probably the biggest mistake.
Nice point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be, hey man, like I would. Yeah, this older me would be mean to the young me. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'd be real matter of fact. Something like, oh, by the way, them cigarettes.
Oh yeah.
Get together.
Yeah, that is one that would be a good one to go back and have a conversation with yourself, for sure.
Most people wouldn't think of that.
Yeah, you're right. Because I'm actually going to say the same thing because I really like that one. I would go back and have a conversation with myself.
Guys, I'm sitting here by the kind of person that would copy my test in class.
Oh, hey, you know.
He can see my list and he's copying my
No,
list.
I do see it.
So
I'm not copying.
You go back, what is the things that...
I would go and tell myself that I needed to practice guitar even more and that I needed to concentrate on it. And I probably could have made something out of a music career, which I've had a music career playing live and doing stuff. I have been for the past 10 years. But I think that I could have done it better. If I could go back and redo it again, that would be something I'd want to tell myself is that, you're a great musician, you work hard, and if you work that hard at your craft, you could make it big one day and just be able to play music for a living. Mm-hmm. And then kick myself for smoking that first cigarette. No.
On Facebook last night, a couple people was like, don't Chris play in a band? I was like, yeah, because we talked about doing some music we're going to.
Yeah.
And they were like, you should be the lead singer. And I was like, really? And then somebody referred to me as the flamboyant frontman.
Oh my God.
Of the band.
How'd you accept it?
I was like, never really thought about it. I was like, I could do it.
Hey, would you get out there like David Lee Roth?
I'm not wearing the clothes he wears.
You get out there, do a karate kick, jump off the stage, do the flying karate kick, whatever it's called.
No, I'm not about theatrics, but I can get the crowd going. Yeah, I could totally do it.
Yeah.
The singing part might be kind of hard, but
singing is hard, man.
Yeah,
it really is. You think you can sing? You listen to yourself in your head, and you're like, man, am I the reincarnation of whoever it is? And then somebody else hears you, and they're like, dude. Yeah. You shouldn't do that.
If you think you can sing, I'm telling you, there's a good chance you can. Really, like 95% chance. like only like 2 or 3% of people can really actually sing where it's tolerable.
Yeah.
I know I hate to be the bearer of bad news to some of y'all but yeah, some of you who sing can't sing.
Yeah, some of y'all need that auto tune that's on all this new music and like the whisper singing stuff, don't you? Like the girls and stuff. There's some guys that do it too. They're just singing. You can't even hardly understand anything they say. I'm sure you've heard some of this stuff. It's fairly newer music. I don't even know any of the people that do it, but I cannot stand it. It is horrible, man. I can't get into it. But let me throw out a next one.
Okay.
We'll switch it up a little bit. I'm going to go with one of your idols on this one. And I would go back and I'd want to sit down with Bob Marley.
I thought she was going to say me, Chris. With Bob Marley?
Yeah, man. And not even to tell him, that he's gonna die of a sickness or anything like that, although I probably would. But to go back and just hang out with him, man. Go sit in at one of their big shows that they did. Go and just be not a fly on the wall, just be a part of the group. Not even really the band, just a part of the group. Just go sit in there, hang out, have conversations, um, have some quality 420 time, with Bob Marley, and just have. And he was a deep thinker, in his music and in his interviews and stuff. He was definitely a deep thinker, so he'd be interesting to have a conversation with.
Would you want to play with him? Like just sit down?
Yes, 100%. I
What if they was like, look, you can go back, but you can't really get too in depth and tell him about his life and stuff. But he can just come across you, and for whatever reason, y'all going to sit down and you got 3 hours to jam with him and talk to him.
Oh man, yeah, yeah. I'd want to do. I'd probably want to spend it 2/3 of the time jamming, and then the other third of the time talking to him, and just getting just to talk. I don't even know what I'd talk about with him really. Just music and life. 'Cause he was all about love and happiness and stuff like that, and not. He had been through a lot of anger, but he wasn't really an angry person. He had been through a lot of things, in his life, and it'd be really cool to sit down and chat with him about it, and get his view on what he thinks.
Yeah.
God, that'd be awesome, man.
I could tell you somebody that I just thought of that would never make my list, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I promise, because it's messed up how they were done, but I wouldn't go back and talk to any of the Native Americans.
You wouldn't want to?
Nah, because I'd be if I did, I'd be like, hey. Man, there's some boats are going to come rolling up. Y'all need to kill them people. I mean, trust me.
That's
but
funny.
if it was like, we wouldn't be like, it would change everything.
That would change everything.
Yeah, I know a lot of people would, but I wouldn't. All right, so, man, really
change history.
Well, I don't want to change history. I'm trying to think of somebody that I can learn from. Man, there's a lot of people like their work ethic. Man, surprisingly, somebody, if you ever heard her talk about her career, and she's been doing it, she's like my son's age, but she's been doing it since she was like a little kid. Miley Cyrus, I wouldn't put her on my list, but I have mad admiration for her work ethic.
Oh yeah.
If you were talking, she is straight business, and she understands, and she's years, because she's been doing it for so long, but she's years ahead of herself in that, and she knows, even with she's went off the rails a couple times, but I don't know if you ever noticed, she always comes back on the rails, and she'd worked with hip hop artists and rock artists, and then just to show everybody a few years ago that, I can come back and run country music when I want to. She did Jolene, a cover of Jolene, and absolutely just did an amazing job.
She's a fantastic musician. I mean, I don't care for a lot of her own music's not my kind of thing. I can respect it. As a singer, that girl can sing, man. She's got a really good voice.
But it's like, I'm just saying, somebody like her, with their work ethic, man, you know what? If we're gonna talk work ethic,
who are you gonna say?
I gotta go talk to Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
I'm gonna sit down and talk to Tom Brady. And I don't want to know about the Super Bowls and all that stuff. I don't know if you ever seen his picture from the combine.
Oh yeah. He's a chunky monkey.
Well, I mean, he's not like,
he wasn't fit then.
Tom Brady is a leader, and he's not intimidating. He's not scary to nobody. I don't think anybody on the football field was ever like, until he became Tom Brady, who he is. Yeah. Then maybe he was a little bit intimidating just because of who he was. But ain't no football player ever been scared of Tom Brady.
I don't think so.
But he's still a dynamic leader. I feel like I am too, but I would still like to talk to him about how he did it, how he approached it, because the way he did it, if I was in his position, would be completely different than the way I would probably handle it.
Yeah.
I may still go at it and watch all the film he did and do all those things, but once I won 5 Super Bowls, I'd be if it's in the middle of a game, I wouldn't walk around, but on the field and during the game, or even a new coach coming in and be like, do you know who I am?
Let me show all these
like
things.
we're out there practicing. Hang on a minute, and I have a dude come running up with a wooden box, and he'd open it. And I'll be like,
what was it, like 7 or 8 of them?
I'll be putting even whatever he was at 4 or 5 at the time. Like I got 5 rings, and I'm going to win at least 2 more.
Oh yeah.
You know, if it wasn't for Eli, I'd have 9.
That's true.
So yeah, like
who do you think?
I was never really a Brady fan, but like man, I have to respect his leadership. And it was Brady. It wasn't Belichick.
That is true. That's been proven.
Belichick's got more game than Brady does. Brady's wife left him for the fitness trainer, and he's Tom Brady. He can have a lot of girls. Belichick's got a 24-year-old, 23-year-old college girlfriend. He's 70-something. I'm just saying he's got more game than Tom. Tom lost his girl. Because he wanted to play football another year.
Bill's boobs are bigger than hers.
That's messed up.
But, then again, he does have a 24, 25-year-old girlfriend, though. So, but do you think that, who do you think put in the most work, Tom Brady or Peyton Manning? We know who won the most Super Bowls and who had the better teams. Yeah, who do you think worked harder, studied harder on defenses and stuff?
Man, they both did. I guess let the record speak. Brady outworked him. That's why that's probably why he won. He just outworked him.
I think that Brady just had some better team and better coaches. I mean, even though Peyton, both of them did the same thing, pretty much. They both ran the field on offense. So. But I'm just curious on what you thought about that. That was a good one, though. Tom Brady's definitely a workhorse and just influential.
Yeah, I want to talk to him about, man, how you such a goofy little dude and such a gangster leader, where everybody respects you and like you're getting people to buy into your ideas and your way and all this. Like, how you do that?
Yeah. Now I can tell you what that is. He's a Leo, and he is a leader. That and they like attention. I'm a Leo, and so I know a little bit of that. But that's what it was for him. Really, I really believe that it's just in his nature to be a leader.
I don't believe in that astrology. Is that zodiac stuff? Whatever.
Oh yeah. No. You don't think that your sign is like you are?
Because I know some Leos that are softer than cotton.
Yeah, but. So the way that those things kind of work is if they're born early in the season of whatever your zodiac sign is, that you have parts of that one, and if you're born later, you have parts of the other one. So
I'm a Pisces. I'm a water sign.
That's a water sign.
But yeah,
I mean, and look at you. You claim that you're the best swimmer and better than Michael Phelps.
Let's say that. Never know. If my mom was here, she could vouch for it. My dad definitely would. He was very proud of it. But I swam, backstroke was my main event. The whole time I swam from 3rd grade up through 9th grade, I never lost a heat race, a final, or anything in any backstroke event. And if it was freestyle, if I didn't win, it was because I was swimming 2 years. I was 12 swimming with 14-year-olds.
All right.
And even then, when I set at one time, when I was 12, I had the 15 and under state record in the 100-meter freestyle at 12.
That's pretty good.
Now, that one, and I had the 12-year-old record also, which stood for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can look that up somewhere, probably. Edgewater, Florida is where I swam out of.
I wonder if you can.
Aqua Park. That was the name of the place, but that I swam for. But, that was, I was definitely fast at it. Like I said, my 12-year-old, the 12-year-old record stood a lot longer, but within a year or so. But the 14-year-old and under record, I did. But I set it when I was 12. The record that had been there for a couple of years, I beat it.
Nice.
In Fort Myers, Florida, I think it was.
Nice.
In a nice heated pool, it was 90 degrees.
Whew.
Man, I swim in hot water.
Good Lord.
Not like hot. That's not bath. That's warm.
Yeah, that's warm. That's warm.
It might have been 88. It was Florida. It was this is straight.
Oh yeah.
I hate racing in a cold pool.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you.
I'm still fast, but I'm faster in really warm water.
I could see that. I could see that. I bet there's some science behind that too.
And I was always more of a sprinter. I never did like 500s or anything. Like I could do the. About the longest thing I ever swam was like a 200 IM or a 200 freestyle.
Yeah, that's back and forth 4 times in a standard 50-meter pool, right?
No, it's 25, and that's 8 laps, brother.
8, okay.
And the 50-meter pool, which and you got to be like a college or an Olympic meet or something like that before. Like, man, I think I'll probably swim in a 50-meter pool like maybe 3 times.
Yeah, that's pretty good ways, man.
Yeah,
50.
But doing just a 50 in a 50-meter pool with taking the turn out of it is fun.
Yeah, that's just going strong.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's no, you ain't got to turn around and come back. There's no flip. It's just off the block. And there's a thing in swimming, if you guys have ever swam competitively, when the buzzer goes off and everybody goes out, if you hear a splash, you ain't the first one in the water.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it makes sense.
That was my thing. When off the block, I rarely heard a splash.
So when you're swimming, and this is off topic, but we're talking about swimming. Whenever you're doing like competitive swimming, is there a limit to how far your dive can be? Your initial dive?
Oh, no.
Now you can jump as far as you can.
Well, if you'll notice, like at the Olympics, even they're doing a 50-meter pool. Man, they cut that. They probably do 20% of the pool underwater off the block on freestyle and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, because when they go under,
they're damn near. That's in a 25-meter pool. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like man, on a 25-meter pool, like when I come out of the water, I'm like 5 strokes from a flip turn.
But I mean, whenever they're the initial start, whenever they're jumping,
you can stay under. You have to do your dolphin kick.
No, can you jump? Is there like a certain distance that you can jump? Out of whenever you're diving into the water, do you have to be in the water at a certain point?
Oh no, you can go as far out. If you can jump 20 feet out, you
okay.
But you also want to. You're faster in the water.
I was gonna say, does it give you an advantage jumping further? Okay.
You want to get out there as far as anybody else does, but man, the key is you want to be the fastest in the water, out of the water, and moving.
Gotcha.
The flying part is important, but it's going to be determined in the water. But especially if you're stronger, it's always good. Like I said, I never wanted to. And if I ever did hear a splash, it was on then.
Well, you're kicking hard.
Like, y'all, you want to beat me off the block? It's on. Yeah, it's on now. Like, I'm kind of like that.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, Brady in the leadership.
Okay.
So I've got Don Shula, Kobe, Tupac, because I'm keeping them both of them around. I'm going back to not change my life completely, but tell myself you're going to have these, and there's a couple things you're going to look back and wish. I'm not telling you to go do those things, but it's something that you're not going to realize. But I would also tell myself, but you have to go and have time to listen. You'll forever regret that if you don't.
Yeah. All right.
All
right. Well, I started off with Hemingway and Jerry Garcia, Jimmy Buffett, Mark Zuckerberg, so I could go tell him not to mess his life up, and Bob Marley. And my next one is going to be Bob Ross, the painter, the Happy Little Trees. I would love to go back and spend a day and hang out with Bob Ross, dude, and paint some stuff with him. Talk to him, have him give me a personal lesson in his studio. I think that would be.
I forgot you're pretty good at art.
Yeah, I'm not too bad at painting landscapes and whatnot, beach scenes, but that would be super cool, man. Because he's him and his partner. I can't remember her name, but they're the ones that came up with that style of painting called wet on wet technique. And that's Tina saying she painted his stuff. It's good stuff. His show was the best. I mean, it was on for, God, man, there was like 30 seasons or something of that show.
It wasn't on like the
PBS, public broadcasting
station.
Yeah,
like the public channel, whatever it's called. It's free.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And so he started that show. So the afro, he thought that whenever his first show, whenever they signed him on, he's like, I'll do this afro and it'll be real cool. And he said he absolutely hated that afro, but he had to keep it his whole career for TV because everybody, that was his thing. That's how everybody really knew him. So she woke up every morning. Yeah.
But I mean, I know who Bob Ross is. I've seen him paint a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Can he paint anything besides a happy little tree?
Yeah.
I mean, I know he can, but why does he always have to throw a happy little tree in there?
Because it's a happy little tree, and he was a happy individual. You know, he was in the military, and he used to say, "Oh yeah, yeah." I don't remember what he was in the military. I could look it up, but he said that he came up with the painting technique, and once they figured it out, he said that he used to like to paint those things because he said there's nobody yelling and screaming at him, there's no gunfire, and he's like, you know, this is my happy place. So therefore, I guess that's where the happy little trees came from.
Right.
Yeah. And, you know, just an inspirational guy. I mean, you know, Bob Ross was, I mean, very, very inspirational. I would love to sit down and talk with him. And, you know, very soothing voice when he talked. His sons, you know, spoke very highly of him and stuff like that. He had to have been a good guy.
All right. So I have next person then. Ty, my son Ty would probably be, he'd be like, really? You picked him? Like,
I thought you were about to say him in general.
No. Maybe a couple things, but no, he's good. Ty's done great. And this, guys, please don't read into this politically for love of babies. Don't. It's not a political thing. And whether you agree with me or not, but
are you going to say it?
I want to pick Elon's brain.
Elon.
Yeah. And if me and Elon hit it off good, if like he's alive, so like we could get together tomorrow and have a real lunch. We ain't messing up history or nothing like that.
What would you talk about? I mean, just
well,
talk
I would talk. First thing I'd be like, dude, there's an asteroid that it's in. I want to say March or April of 2029. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That's coming real close to Earth, dude.
Yeah.
It's big. It's like it could be real bad, but it was at like one. It was like less than 1%. Then it went to like a 2% chance, and then it went back. Well, now one of the last things I've seen about it, and we have to look this up. Maybe we'll have to do a show on an asteroid.
Oh,
yeah. It's going to. There's a chance it might hit the moon. Right,
really?
That's bad. That's the tides and gravity. That's bad.
That's real bad.
That could be as bad as it hitting Earth. Honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would say, hey man, I know that you want to send some people to Mars. I know that's your legacy thing.
Okay.
Like I'm cool with that. And you want to put Wi-Fi on Mars. Why you want to put Wi-Fi on Mars right now is beyond me because there ain't nobody there, man. There ain't nobody tapping in. Like,
well, you know, we don't know that. We don't know that.
Even the Wi-Fi you're getting will be like a day old or something, probably because of the distance. I don't know. Like, I don't know how Wi-Fi on Mars works, but I'll be like, hey man, maybe for right now, let's put this Wi-Fi stuff on Mars on hold and go into Mars to live. Let's bump this asteroid and see if we can completely knock it where there is zero chance that it's going to hit us.
Huh.
Like, and because I think it may have been done before. I think we talk about this with, yeah. But I would send Elon. I want to talk to him because he's smart. Like explain to me exactly how a Tesla works. And also if something I would ask him, I would say, you know, we have to get rid of all these old cars that run on gas, fossil fuels and stuff, and the buses or whatever. Well, now we have electric stuff. Not only do we have the vehicle at some point we have to get rid of, but it's not just a engine that we can clean the stuff out of and do something with it. Bro, that's a battery. Mm-hmm. Batteries are hard to
dispose of.
Yeah, like where are you gonna shoot them batteries into space every day? You're gonna do a at some point you have to do like 100 missions a day, sending batteries into space and dumping them out.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I don't know how much space trash is up there, but I imagine there's probably a bunch of crap floating around up there now. You don't need to do. I mean, I don't know what his plan is with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not trying to talk to him about nothing to do with no political stuff or anything like that.
No.
There might be a couple things that I would ask him, like, can you prove this to me beyond a shadow of a doubt? Like, was it really like this? Was this money really being spent there? Like, at the end, I might wait till the end to ask him, like, by the way, We got about 10 minutes left, Elon. Like, I'd look at that list of stuff and be like, prove this to me. And if he couldn't prove it to me, I yell at him.
I'd like to know where he, because what's the other guy, the Tesla's name, the guy that's from, God, I can't think of his name right now.
Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
He's the one that like came up with all this stuff. And how did Elon get it?
I don't know. I wasn't sure if they were exactly. I need to study. I need to watch a video about Nikola Tesla. I feel like I should know more about him.
I feel like I probably should too. I don't know
Tyler
enough to talk about him.
Tell us a lot of stuff about him.
Yeah, I can tell you, I'm not a fan of those Tesla cars.
But he learned it on Joe Rogan, so take it with a grain of salt.
He is my next person to talk to. Joe
Really?
Rogan. Yep.
To get us to see if he wants to come on our podcast.
I would love for Joe to come over here to your.
I've told like 3 people, I'm like, y'all think I'm playing in like a year and a half from now? Joe Rogan's people's gonna hit us up and be like, hey, Joe wants to come on our podcast.
I hope so. I mean, I'd love to go talk with him. That would be. I mean, you can't say that wouldn't be cool.
So, actually, you know what? Just because he has the biggest platform for that, and I know he's kind of against primate ownership a little bit, but he's talking
really?
like chimps, like because he realizes how gangster they can be.
Yeah.
But I would like to, because you're going to do 3 hours. I'm gonna use Joe Rogan also, and the reason. Okay, so the first part of it, I would like to take Happy, maybe for a few minutes, Boo for a few minutes, and let him. I just wrote Joe Happy.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, like I just because like I said, it would be a big viewed thing, and like I said, at first I would like to let him meet them to see there is a really cool ass side to it. Like, wow, man, like I am interacting with a monkey. He's my friend.
Yeah.
He's friendly to me. Like this is very, very cool.
Heck yeah.
But then I would like to talk to him about primate ownership and some of the dark sides to it, the black market stuff, and there's no particular people that I'm talking about in specific. Like I could probably think of some, but it's not that I want to put any specific person on blast, but just the way it's done and accountability and example. There's every day a new monkey page pops up on TikTok. Yeah. Every day. And man, this girl, I'm guessing she's in her 20s or something. I don't know. You know me. You've known me since before I had my monkeys.
Yeah.
Boo's gonna be 16 this year. Chris, she's got a little capuchin that she's spending all kinds of time with. She's surrogating it, which is a good thing. They need to. I don't believe in surrogating a monkey to like a blanket or a stuffy or something. Boo hung on me or Tracy or Ty for 2 years.
Yeah.
That we were his surrogate. We didn't get away from him.
Yeah.
And she had 2 toddlers in the background. Like, it sounded like between maybe like 1 and 3. And like, I'm telling you right now, if you're trying to raise a baby capuchin monkey and 2 young kids at the same time, somebody getting shorted. When I got Boo, my kids were in high school. This was already even in high school. They were starting high school.
Yeah.
They were older. They didn't need my, you know what I'm saying? Like, they wasn't toddlers. That's when you teach your kids to grow up to be good people and not do dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
so that's when they need their parents.
To not be on ADHD medicine when they're in the 3rd grade or something. And no offense to anybody that takes that, but I think that's one of the most overdiagnosed things with kids. Yeah. Man, like a lot of times, and people, you can agree or not, like a lot of that is
I'll say it.
Bad parenting.
Yes.
And very bad parenting, and possibly even in some cases, teachers that are not mentally prepared to deal with this child.
Oh, for sure. I mean, man, I agree 100%. I think that it's a lot to do with the way that it's babies raising babies, and there's no science to how you do it. Everybody does it different.
That's like some Pete for president shit right there.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a whole mess of stuff right there when it comes to then parents diagnosing. I mean, a little kid because they're rambunctious. Man, they're a little kid. That's what they do.
Are you on number 5 with Joe Rogan?
No,
Four?
that's number 7 from. Well, yeah. I'm counting. You're counting backwards from me.
All right, so you got 3 left also.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we both actually put Joe Rogan at the same place, but like the first part of it, like just 30, 40 minutes, and then let's sit down and have a conversation and tell, explain why I'd be like, I don't think it's a good idea for anybody to get a monkey as a pet.
Yeah.
And this is why.
Okay.
And I would tell him, like, have I seen a handful of exceptions to everything I'm saying? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I probably know, literally in 16 years, I probably know over 100, up to 104, 105 people that I've known that I was like, I wouldn't do it if I was you.
Yeah.
That have got a capuchin monkey. Do you know how many of them still have their monkeys after 2 or 3 years?
Probably not many.
Like 5. Right?
Yeah, it's a very small.
It's
percentage.
like, so like I tell people, like you have like a 95% chance of failing.
And it's the same.
And that's what I've learned. Like
Yeah.
You have a 95% chance you're going to fail.
Yeah, and it's very similar, and it's unfortunate with dogs. It's the same kind of thing. People, it's Christmas time. I want to get my baby or get my girlfriend a dog.
Like it's something that I would want to talk about is even Uncle Jeff, as close as we are, you know how tight I am with him. Mm-hmm. We'll be talking about. He goes, well, they are a wild animal. I'm like, no, they're not. My monkeys are not wild. And I think you might even say today, and I was going to say it. Like, actually, if Boo, Happy, or Mila, even together, I don't know how, even in the woods behind my house, I don't know how it's going to work out for them. I don't think it's going to be all that good. There's no blankets coming around. There's, ain't nobody coming out there to give them a couple extra grapes or a little late night snack or oh, good morning, here's your hard-boiled egg.
Yeah.
Warmed it up just a touch for you.
Yeah.
There ain't none of that.
That's true.
There ain't no omelet going on. We made special monkey omelets this morning. There ain't none of that going on. I don't know if they would survive. There's bobcats and coyotes and stuff around here. And yeah, they can stay up in the trees, but there's also some crazy big giant birds flying out here.
Yeah.
But now, I will say I have exotic pets.
Yeah, there you go. And that's a better way to say it.
Exotic, I do not have a problem with, but wild.
Yeah.
My monkeys are like, if you could drop them in the wild for like 30 seconds in the real wild, and then bring them back, they'd be like, man, I just had this messed up dream. There is a place that I dreamed about. Like, I would not want to. There's no monkeys there. They're crazy. They shouldn't live there.
So, I mean, stop me if I'm wrong here, but would your monkeys be considered monkeys in captivity?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the right thing to say?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So,
there's different levels of captivity. Like, my monkeys are not like a breeder monkey or monkeys at the zoo.
Yeah.
They're a lot more. I mean, I don't know how many people Boo's met and interacted with over the years. It's a lot.
Yeah. Well,
we shut Ron John's surf shop down they had to stay there like 2 hours after they were open because there were so many people in the store.
Nice. That's cool though.
Oh, the employees were mad at us. I think.
Yeah, I bet.
There's a video of us. Luke and he had his little squirrel monkey, and I had Boo and Happy both on my shoulder, and we were going up the elevator in that. I think it might be in one of the music videos actually, but we're going up the elevator, and the reason we're going up is because I told everybody, I was like, look guys, we got to get out of here. And we went up, got on the elevator, went up to the second floor because they had it closed off then, and so everybody could get the hell out.
Huh. That's all right.
Yeah, it was awesome. We took a lot of pictures, met a lot of cool people that night.
Yeah.
People was posting pictures on Facebook and stuff like that, and more people kept coming.
Right.
They were tagging Ron Johns and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. I'd like. There's several things that I'd like to talk to old Joe Rogan about. I'd love to hear stories from his fighting days. 'Cause Joe Rogan's got one of the strongest little sidekicks there. Spinning back kick. That's what it is. That he will put his foot through you.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to him about his like MMA days or UFC days, I guess is what it was. But I'd like to chat about that. He eats really healthy. That like eats the.
Oh,
elk.
he'd have you if you hung out with Joe Rogan. You got to eat some elk.
Oh yeah, and I absolutely would. And that. I mean, he's an icon. He's been around forever, and he's made a really good name for himself. He brings controversial people on his show sometimes. Yeah. He brings everybody on there. He's not a he just wants to get like I think he just wants to get like a lot of truth out there.
Well, like we don't have to get into all that stuff. Like let's talk about the monkey stuff. That's what I know. I'm gonna stay in my lane.
Yeah, and that's what you know.
And because he's a sponge, he likes to learn and listen. Yeah. Like I can talk it up, but I want that's the things. But at the same time, like we may discuss comedy because Joe Rogan's funny. His stand-ups are funny, but like tell Netflix to call me and say, look, man, in 6 months we're gonna give you 1 hour and 17 minutes. And depending on I'm going to get paid. Like if they give me 6 months to write it, I'll bring it to heat.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not saying I'm funnier than him, but if I had 6 months and I knew I was going, like, I didn't have to worry about doing anything work related because of what I was going to make off that and get plenty of money, it'd be on. Because I'd spend 8 or 9 hours a day writing.
That's right.
And working on my material and stuff. And so I feel like I could, but like it would just. Business career wise with what I do already and stuff, it would just open a lot of doors for me. I feel like so. Yeah, I would definitely. Like when I first started listening to Joe Rogan, I would have never said that. But now, all the people he's had on there and stuff, and man, even famous. I seen Ron White and he goes, "Man, I didn't realize what a big deal it was to be on your podcast." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Man, I've been doing comedy and for selling out places for 20 years and." Every person I see, like, oh, you did Joe Rogan's podcast. Because everybody, he's like, damn, dude. And like, so yeah, I'm down with that 100%.
Yeah, that would be super fun.
So we have 3 people, like 3 alive or dead people. The last 3 people, if you could pick, like, do you already have a pick?
Not yet. I'm still thinking about who I'm going to have for the last 3. You know, I'm such a big musician fan that's what runs through my head are the musicians, man. I would, give anything to want to go sit down with somebody like Jimi Hendrix for a little while, or just not even meet him. I would like to go back and be at his Woodstock performance. That's something that I would like to do. No conversations, no telling him that, hey, you're gonna have, you're gonna do some bad stuff here over the next few years, and you're not gonna make it through life.
You're not gonna get to hang out with him while he's doing that. There's like 300,000 people or something.
I mean, but that would be enough for me just to be in that situation, and to just be in the moment of that part of Woodstock. You're waking up on Sunday morning. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning, something like that. He comes 7 or 8 in the morning. He comes out, plays the Star Spangled Banner.
He played that early in the morning.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he did. And, but to be there, I guess even to sit and talk with him would be cool too. If that's what the podcast is for, is who we would sit down and chill with. I could do Jimi Hendrix. He'd be all, yeah, baby, come on in here. Let's play some guitar. Yeah,
Jim,
that'd be cool, man. I mean, that's one for music, blues music. I mean, he's one of the most iconic people out there for a blues musician. That had fame, died at 27, passed away, whatever.
Yeah, he's in the club. 27 club.
That's right.
There's a lot of people in that.
Yeah,
we could even do an episode about that. There's a lot of people.
There really are.
People,
yeah.
That went at 27.
It's all the good ones. That's why. Isn't that what the song "Only the Good Die Young" came from? From all the people that
Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Maybe. That, guys. No. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Sorry about that. All right, so
that was my number 8 pick.
All right, so my top 3. How do I want to put these together? I'm gonna save. I know who my number 1 person is gonna be already. Oh man, there's a couple other people here.
I've got one if you're not ready.
Go ahead, because I still got 3 more.
Okay, and one of my favorite comedians of all time, Jerry Seinfeld, dude.
Like right now, you go hang out, coffee in the car with him.
Right now, 100%. I would love to sit down and talk to Jerry about his jokes, how he comes up with them, how long does it take him to figure them out. You know, does it happen fast? Do they come natural? Are the ones that come natural the best ones, or the more thought out ones the best jokes? You know, I'd like to talk to him about the cars, which I'm not a huge car guy, but he's a big Porsche guy. He collects Porsches, and I'd like to see his car collection, and you know, just hear like some of the wildest stories, some of his wild times at doing stand up. You know, back in the late '70s or early '80s, whenever he was just getting his fame. You know, see what that kind of stuff was like for him. I think that would be really, really interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, man, just because the interesting life he led, like I thought about saying Genghis Khan, but
Good Lord, really?
yeah, he lived a very interesting life. But I don't know, like if I can pick anybody, like, and Tina, I'm sorry, but I've probably should have put her further down the list, but man, let me make sure.
Think about it.
There's a lot of choices out there. If you're gonna jump if you're gonna jump off in the deep end, jump, you know, jump in the right water.
Yeah. I know who you're thinking too.
I'm probably gonna. I want to sit down and have lunch or dinner with Amy Lee
from
Evanescence.
Oh my goodness.
And I know she's a little bit older and don't look like she did back in the '90s and stuff, but or whenever that early 2000s.
Yeah, the 2000s for sure.
But still, and there might be somebody else, but man, it's that voice. She's the best female vocalist, and that's I know I'm not trying to take credit from like the girl from Ann Wilson from Heart or
Adele.
Oh my God, Chris, she's so overrated.
Man, no.
Like, I don't like Adele. I am not an Adele fan.
Man, she's a fantastic singer, bro. She is one of the best for women. She's up there.
Chris, will you tell me who I just picked? Who was it? You don't remember either.
You were talking
You're
about
sitting right here.
We got started on something else.
Shit, who was it?
Amy Lee.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Amy. I just messed that up before we even got. I didn't even sit down to dinner with her. I done messed that up. She's like, "Oh, you forgot me already?" Huh? Like, see how it is.
Oh man.
But yeah, I'm gonna sit down and.
You're gonna go that route, then.
I'm gonna sit down with Amy Lee, and it's not that she's really competitive with the other two at the top, not by no means, but.
And it's the voice, huh?
At one time, if you had asked me this 15 years ago, I'd say Alyssa Milano. 20 years ago, I'd say Alyssa Milano. But, you know, she's changed. I'm not a fan anymore.
But she has changed.
I have her name on my arm. Actually, it's my daughter's name, but that's where my daughter got her name. I knew when I was a little kid that I would have a daughter named Alyssa. When I was in like 6th grade. When she was on Who's the Boss? Sam.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go to the house and hang out and be the boss.
All right, so that was your number 9 or your number 2, or was that 3?
I got 2 left.
You got 2 left, then you pick one because I didn't put myself on here whenever I talked about myself.
All right, so
do you have another one?
Yeah. Probably. I don't know how many generations back I want to go. We always said we couldn't do family. So I was going to say one of my grandfathers, several generations back, just to see where we come from.
Yeah.
But we said we couldn't do family. But that would be very interesting to me. So
yeah, my dad would have been number 1 on this list if we were using family.
Yeah.
You always, you know, for most people, anyways, they would love to go back and have that one last conversation with their mom or their dad or you know, like you said, their grandparents. or something
oh
like
gosh,
that.
yeah, everybody that I've
Yeah,
lost,
but,
that's for sure.
everybody doesn't know our family. We don't know theirs, so.
So, man, I'm gonna pick somebody alive. Just because that I feel like there's more to gain, and you don't mess stuff up by doing that. You're not going back.
Yeah.
Somebody alive that I could sit down and have lunch with or dinner with and talk to them.
That's some good ones out there. You only got 2 spots left, and I know you're number 1.
Yeah.
Not that I can see it, but I know who you're going to pick.
But I'm picking it for the wrong reasons, my number 1. But we'll see. I'll explain it. I hadn't even written it down, but I know who Chris knows who I'm going to say. Man, I can go back and, if I could spend, I don't really like people that much. Nah, not her. I would just want to change her mind about stuff, so I'm not going to say that person. That would be kind of political, so definitely don't want to do that.
No politics. No politics. You got 2 spots left.
Oh! Snoop Dogg.
All right. Just to hang out with him?
Or Joey Diaz. Either one. Joey Diaz or Snoop Dogg. I would prefer Snoop Dogg right now. I want to make Snoop Dogg say, I'm good, dog. That's what I want. I want Snoop Dogg to
tapping out.
I want him to tap out. So yeah, Snoop Dogg.
I remember his episode.
That like you guys are gonna be like, you really had him in comparison with your number 1. It was torn between him and Snoop Dogg. No, I wasn't at all. But yeah, like I had to think about it. Like once again, like Joe Rogan is my age. Snoop Dogg is my age.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's a little younger. Tupac, almost exact same age as me. Like we're really close together.
Kobe, your age, wasn't
he? And like an honorable mention, like Shaq. Man, Shaq's smart.
Shaq is the man. That's a good.
Shaq owns so much stuff, dude. He's smart. Just to be like Shaq.
Man,
I'm pretty savvy at running a business and doing stuff. I'm a smart person. Anybody knows me be like, man, he's smart, man. Like you're not going to talk over his head about very much stuff. But I would still, not basketball. I'm 7 foot tall. I can't play like Shaq's. Yeah. My basketball game is not like going to be like Shaq's.
Yeah, no.
I want to talk to him about his business stuff, like how it's a cool story if you ever heard how he got into the general car insurance, because that was the only place that he could afford insurance when he got his first car, and he was going to get rid of the car, and he called this place called the General, and then when he made his first big chunk of money, he called in and was like, hey, y'all took care of me, I want to buy half the company.
Dang.
51%, and I'll give you this much.
That's right.
Most of the stuff, if you see Shaq on TV advertising it,
he owns some of it.
Yes. No, they won't disclose how much of Google he owns.
That's wild. I'm a big Shaq fan too. Yeah. He's not on my list.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
But man, he's a fantastic person. You know, when it comes to kids, there's multiple stories about him going into Walmart and little kids in there and they see him and they notice him, and he's like, "You got a bike?" The kid says no. He's like, "Man, go over there. Go tell your mama I'm buying you a bicycle, man." He's like, "Go over there and pick out the one you want." Yeah. Dude, that is the cool. Excuse the language, but that is the coolest shit in the world, man. That is what famous people, for any famous people, that is what you should be doing. And when you're wondering what you should do with your money, you need to go to Walmart, because that is where poor people shop, along with everybody else. But there are definitely poor people at Walmart, and go in there and just go drop $10,000 on some families that's got 2 buggies of groceries in there, because that's some stuff that Shaq would do, and I like him for that. And on top of that, I like that show that they do with him and Chuck and the other 2 on there. What's that show called? The basketball show they do where they talk about sports. Oh, Chuck always
Inside the NBA.
Yeah. And Shaq and Chuck
always show for basketball on TNT.
That's the best, man. Those videos.
Best pregame show.
My Instagram is full of those things, man. I love the one where Shaq.
They mess with each other so bad.
I like the one where Chuck's in the dressing room looking, getting ready, and Shaq comes walking in the door behind him with his shirt off, and Chuck starts laughing. He's all, "Man, don't be coming up behind me with your shirt off, man."
Yeah, but like hanging out with somebody like Snoop Dogg or something like that, especially like him, like that could I want Snoop Dogg on our podcast.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I would love to. I'd love to hang out with him.
Let him come here for 2.5, 3 hours. We'll just do a podcast with him. And like, they'll be like, you're going to get demonetized. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, we smoke, do all that. Snoop Dogg's going to be sitting there. We get a pass.
Yeah.
It's accepted. All right, so we both got one more to go?
Yep. This is number 10. And mine are not in any sort of order. There's no, my number 1 isn't the best one, or my number 10 isn't either. I just...
Yeah, I might can sit down and change my 10 around, for sure.
So, my last one, influential, that I would go back and talk to, and I would let him know that, hey man, if you keep doing the stuff you're doing, you're not going to make it. And he is the one that I would change. Chris Cornell from Soundgarden. The guy had, probably for rock and roll music in my generation, he probably had the best voice. Fantastic musician. He was a good guy. He just had some serious problems. But I would like to go back and just tell him, like, man, in the 2000s, stuff's gonna happen to you just like you would do with your people there. And be like, man, in the 2000s, man, you're gonna go through some stuff, and you need to seek some help for yourself. Like, 'cause if not, you ain't gonna make it. And I was a big Soundgarden fan. I love just Chris Cornell's music. His version of the Prince song that Sinead O'Connor did.
Nothing compares.
Nothing compares. Chris Cornell's version, best version, hands down.
When you was talking about Bob Marley and like jamming with him and stuff, or being at a show, when I was 17, I think I was about 17, I got to go to Orlando at like a private club, and it was Ziggy Marley, a couple of the guys from the Melody Makers, and a couple of guys from the Wailers, and they played a private show with like 50 people, and it was 420 friendly and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we got to hang out with them after and stuff. It was
really,
yeah, it was like one of the coolest things I've ever done in the history of my life.
I bet
it's
so.
when that song "Tomorrow People" was like top. It had just come out and was starting to move up the charts.
Okay, heck yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool. When my buddies called and said, "Hey man, we're going to this place tonight in Orlando," and I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "We're going to see Ziggy Marley," and I was like, "A lot of people there." He's like, "Oh man, it's VIP thing. Like, you come on, go with us." I was like, "All right," and yeah, it was real. He played a lot of his dad's music and stuff. They played for like 3 or 4 hours because they played, hung out with us, and went back up and played some more. And man, they had great food, and just the atmosphere was just spectacular.
Heck yeah, that is super cool.
Good time.
I would love to hang out with any sort of famous band people. And
so did you give your number 1? Who was it?
Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell was the last one.
All right, so like the rest of this list might change. Like I'm not sure where I would, but man, I gotta go back and talk to Jesus.
What you gonna tell him? He's gonna be all, my son. How can I help you?
You gotta trust, man. I'm like, do you trust me? Like, I want to know the truth about everything.
He'd tell you, he'd be like, I created you, son.
I don't think he would talk to me like that, Chris.
Oh yeah, well that's how when you talk about that's
he knows
how
my
I
heart.
hear.
I don't think he wants me to be like, man, you better check your tone.
Right,
he knows my heart. He gonna be like, son, will you? Like, man, you better check your tone. Man.
So we have 2 different impressions of Jesus here.
Yeah, I'm just you're talking about God, I think. Like, Jesus, I'm going back to no, like I'm gonna tell him, like, if everything you say is true, like, I'm not gonna tell nobody, and you can trust me. You know in my heart that you can trust me. You know this because if you are who you say you are, show me something. Give me a peek. Give me a peek of something. Let me see something.
Just a little something.
Don't trick me with some David Blaine turning some water into some wine, and I'm not making light of that stuff, guys. I don't want to offend nobody's religion, but man, show me something besides a magic trick. Show me.
Yeah, so you want to be there and be a part of seeing a miracle
or something. Show me something. I'll be like, where I come with I would like when I get done hanging out with Jesus for 3 hours. When I come back, like my friends would be like, man, I can't hang out with him anymore since he's got on that religion. That's all he wants to do. He's got to get you saved, and he ain't giving up till he does.
Well,
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. and not saying like we kind of touched base on a little bit on the UFO stuff, how I believe and stuff like that. It's not that I don't believe in stuff like that, but prove it. Yeah. Because there's a lot of things like the stuff in the pyramids and like the age of the planet, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think the Bible ever speaks of like so far living and passed away. We're at like close to 18 billion people.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
The world.
Does when you hear scripture from the Bible, does it sound like he's talking about 18 billion?
I don't think so.
I don't either. That's a lot.
I don't know. I really can't speak on what it says in the Bible because I don't really know. I've never read it.
And something that I would have to ask Jesus, I'm like, because he went through a lot of crap, man. People treated him bad, and he stuck to his grind.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to get his message out there. I mean, he's probably the most famous person in history, or at least in the last. That was 2,000. In the last 4,000 years, he's definitely or more. 10,000 years.
You're wrong about that. You are wrong about that.
Who?
The Beatles were more popular than Jesus.
No, they what?
Yes, they were.
Oh my gosh! Whatever. I have a hypothesis of your list, but we'll get to that in a minute.
All right.
But no, like I said, I would ask him, like, you had a lot of bad stuff done to you. Was there ever a time, and why didn't you? Just one time, like you could tell people, and you did a few things here and there. You made Lazarus rise from the dead. Like, did you really do that? Like,
yeah,
I
got you.
But I would ask him, I'd be like, never one time when somebody was being physical with you, did you ever not? I know there was something. There was a temple or something they were trading in, and he turned a bunch of tables and stuff over. So he did get mad one time, I know.
Okay.
But, like, did you not ever want to flip and be like, you hit me with that? Like, I am the son of God. I will rain hell down on this earth right now.
You hit me one more time with that whip and see what happens.
And that's because I have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And I think Jesus probably does now because that's all over with now. So he can look back and be like, oh, man, like, dude, just one time I was about to just torch the whole village with my index finger. Like, yes, absolutely. Like, but I didn't, my son.
See that? It goes back to my son.
I got questions. Like I said, I'm not trying to sound sacrilegious. I don't want people to not watch us because of that. Like, this is just conversations. It's debating. It's opinions,
that's right.
Questioning, I'm not.
But that's the wrong thing about this topic that you're on is questioning. People are, if they're going to listen, you might have somebody, if they catch the end of this, that's going to say something because you are questioning.
Just last week in church, the preacher talked about people that were going through either mental or physical hardships, and it was like, God, why you let me do this? Kind of like, and it's true, or is it just a human thing that he said no matter what it is, he's like, and I've even heard Steve Harvey use this, weird enough, but God's always going to get you through whatever you're going through.
And that's what they say.
Yeah. So, or as humans, that's more of our genetic thing or whatever, like life happens, but the strong humans will keep pushing on. And the stronger you are, the faster you can get through something hard or whatever life may throw at you, physical or mental.
Yeah.
He was, but he never really to me, he explained it, but at the end, I was still like, you kind of left it open-ended.
Yeah.
To me. You didn't really he did. Because everybody, I got the message of it, but I also was thinking, sometimes I would ask when, hopefully I get there one day, if that's how it's meant to be. And I'm gonna ask God, and be like, man, like, why did you let kids suffer? Why did some people have to have the fate that they did?
Yeah.
Like, that's a legit question. And you know what? God is not going to punish me for that. You know why? Because God is the one who gave me the ability to think like that.
There you go.
And to think and like sorry he made me smart. He knows he did.
Yeah.
I've got a joke about Jesus being the hardest toddler to give a bath. Jesus, get off of your bath water and get in the tub. and I think God would be like, Jesus, come in here. Like, Pete's telling jokes about you not taking a bath if you was little again. And something else about Jesus, and once again, like, I don't know if you knew this. Did you know Jesus would wash people's feet?
Would he?
It's a very Christian thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you saying that do you want to wash mine?
Hell no. No. I'm not doing that. No. Like, what if there's like, man, you know, tournaments this week, like, everybody on the ball team's got to wash each other's feet.
You go be the one. I'll volunteer.
I am not, my buddy, like, no. And I don't want another man washing my feet.
Okay, so let's change the scenario. So, if somebody at your team told you that they had a dream that the higher being had came in their dream and they're like, okay, look, we need Pete to wash everybody's feet today before the game. Really good. Both hands, soap, put a little lotion on afterwards. Hold on now. But if you do that, this is a world champion softball game, and you guys are gonna win if Pete does that. How many people's on the team? 10, 12, something like that?
Depends.
So, so let's just say you can wash 2 feet in, let's say, 2 minutes. You give a minute for each foot. So
why can't we just go out there and hit the damn shit out of the ball and everybody play good defense, don't make no errors, and let's hit it. It's softball. Let's hit it. Hit it.
Because Jesus has said, no matter how well you play, you're not going to win unless Pete washes these feet. Are you washing feet? I know how you feel about losing.
No.
All right, well, teammates, you're done for.
I don't think you have to wash anybody's feet to get to heaven. I mean, you know what? Even Uncle Jeff's washed feet before. And like he said, he ain't like doing like a deep scrub, but like I guess they step in water or something. Man, I ain't messing with
I ain't messing with no guys' feet.
There might be a couple girls I'll be like, here, come here. But I ain't washing no man's foot.
No, I'm not washing a man's foot either.
Is not happening.
And I'm definitely not massaging any lotion in their feet. I'll lose the game.
Yeah, I don't even know why you threw that in there.
I mean, just to give you.
I'm massaging my feet, but that's one, But she knows my feet are not nasty. She knows.
Oh, I'm a great, not for you or a man, but I'm a great foot massager now.
That's what you know. What that's a great segue in what I was just about to say. If it come down to it, I guarantee with my life, Chris, that you would wash or massage another man's feet before I would. And if you had to do it, if something happened, it was life or death, and you had to massage a man's foot, and freaking John Stamos was sitting right there and put his foot up there,
I'd do it.
Chris would be like, man, but don't tell nobody. Quit videoing. So, John Stamos, if you want a foot massage, hit my boy Chris up at JCB Guitar Repair.
Listen, John.
Scores in there on Instagram.
I was just trying to help you out, John, just by saying that you're a good-looking guy, and that all the women like you. That's all I said. I don't want to rub Stamos' feet. Matter of fact, I think that John Stamos, for a man, he got some thin lips, man. He ain't all that. He's no Chris. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. So
you can never unsay that John Stamos. You said that John Stamos is a good looking man.
I know that's why I keep saying it, because you're never gonna let me live.
You're
that
a guitar
shit down,
player, and everybody will forever know you as a guitar player forever. But once you said that about John Stamos, like, you're also stuck with the, he's got a thing for John Stamos. It's a hair thing, because y'all have that good hair. Is that what it is?
Now, John Stamos, he wouldn't be.
If you put a little bit of oil in your hair and do it straight, you need to knock just a little bit of that gray out and do it straight back, like the dude in La Bamba, like his brother.
Oh my God!
I could go. I could be like, I got Pete here, and what is it always about Richie, Chris? Like, remember in La Bamba, his brother Bob? He got mad. He's like, what is it always about Richie? His brother had his hair cut like that one time, and we were all over there, and he come walking in there, and that movie was out not long before then. I was like, when I said that, I was like, why is it always about Richie? And everybody busted out laughing because they knew exactly what I was talking about. That's what he said in the movie. He was talking to his mom in the movie.
Well, everybody knows that I've had long hair almost my whole life since I was like 11 years old, and about a year ago I decided to shave it off to help my wife with things that she was going through at the time, and rest her soul, God rest her soul, and so I shaved my head bald to help her feel better about everything. And now I'm letting it all grow out. So this is what we got to look forward to, and this is what our followers get to see. Y'all get to see the transition of me growing my hair back. So, and for some reason, living in the South out here with the humidity, my hair likes to grow up.
Man, my hair is the same every day. Like, you know how I fix my hair?
Yeah.
I dry it and then I go.
Yeah,
I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah. Dude, if I brush it, I'll have to do it one
I can
day.
go with this look here. Some of the girls like that.
Yeah. I'll have to give it as a funny thing. I'll have to do it one day. When I brush my hair with a brush, I look like Jerry Seinfeld. My hair bushes out.
And we could do an episode from the salon, and you could put a legit spiral perm in there. Guys, if you want to sponsor that, how much does a perm cost at the salon? About $100 or something?
I was gonna say something. It's probably about 100.
Oh,
I know a girl that'll do it.
We'll have a blast.
I know a girl that'll do it. So y'all want to sponsor it? I'll go up there and get one.
I'm talking about like a real, like a soul glow one.
Man,
we're going to spray some stuff on it.
Look at this stuff, y'all. Look at it. It doesn't even need a perm. I already have one. It ain't gonna do no good.
I'm talking about like an afro perm, like really curved, like.
Oh, now if I want to get the full on afro, I got to get like the braids or cornrows put in my hair. If I do that and then leave them in for a day.
You're too old for this.
I'm definitely too old for that. But when I pull them out, it's a straight afro for me.
All right, so. Like, and if you ask me this tomorrow, I might change some names. And again, do not get political with me because I picked Elon. Like, I want to talk to him about these asteroids, and tell him that he's wasting too much time on Mars. Like, I'm down for his space thing that he's doing, but we need to focus on this asteroid. Like, I'm about to have a grandson, and like anytime. Like
that's right. That's right.
Anytime it's coming.
I meant to talk to you about
my
that.
grandson Coach is coming. But my 10 people, Don Shula, to tell him to let Dan Marino throw the damn ball, to tell Kobe not to get on that helicopter, to tell Tupac, go see Tupac, to tell him get the hell out of Vegas after that fight. I'm gonna hang out with Tom Brady for his leadership, to learn about his leadership. Joe Rogan, because there's a big message to a big platform about, because of what I do with the monkeys and stuff, to get that out there, and all the other interesting stuff we could talk to them about.
Oh yeah.
Got to hit my girl Amy Lee up and have dinner with her.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she'll sing me a couple songs or something.
She definitely will after you forgot her name on here.
I didn't forget her name. I want to hang out with Snoop Dogg just because it would be a good career choice, I think. And I think he'd be like, man. He wouldn't call me nephew because we're like the same age.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody calls him mom.
You'd be cuz.
I don't want to be called, he'd be like, cuz is really cool, man. I like it. But I want to make Snoop Dogg say, I'm good, dog. I'm good.
I'm good, no more, dog.
Let's get something to eat. And Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep, that was a good list. Mine was Ernest Hemingway. He's
and myself.
Oh, yeah, don't forget about yourself. But my first one that I talked about was Hemingway, so I can pick his brain on just his life. Jerry Garcia, just on two different levels, on a personal level and on a psychedelic level. I just think he's one of the coolest people out there. Jimmy Buffett, I'd want to go back and, like you said, to make sure that I could play in his band. I'd want to be his songwriting partner. That's what I would change in his life and mine. Mark Zuckerberg, just to tell him quit being like he's being and, not to be that way. Bob Marley, because it's Bob Marley, Everybody should want to hang out with him and enjoy his time. Bob Ross, one of the best painters of our generation. And Joe Rogan, for the similar reasons for you, just to talk about just anything. He's a great conversationalist. Jimi Hendrix, Seinfeld, and then I'd want to go back and tell Chris Cornell to not do whatever he did that made him leave us. And that's my group, not in a particular order. So none of those that's not from the
if I found your list laying somewhere and I didn't know who wrote it, do you know what I would say?
What?
I'd be like, Somebody's a hippie.
There's very.
Chris's list has a very hippie flavor to it. Mine has a more of a little bit selfish, I guess. I want the Dolphins to win all those Super Bowls. I don't care about the Cowboys or the 49ers or like. Hey, Buffalo Bills. If Dan Marino is unleashed and like y'all don't have to go through the agony of losing 4 Super Bowls because you don't get to 4 Super Bowls. I don't like the Buffalo Bills fans.
A little salty. He's a little salty. Well, it's coming up on sports time though. Football time. You know, I'm a big NFL guy. Pete's a big NFL guy
Yeah,
too.
we'll definitely do our picks every week. We'll have to do them the week before somehow, or we'll do them.
Yeah.
Because Thursday night game.
Oh, we got the Thursday night game. That's right.
So we'll figure it out. That's
Yeah.
that's still months away.
Yeah.
But cool. All right, this has been super fun. Leave some comments. Who would you like to have dinner, lunch with, hang out for 2 or 3 hours? A historic person.
Something that you could change history with.
Yeah, you like I said, you don't have to change history with it, but you possibly could. I definitely would tell Elon, man, quit worrying about going to damn Mars and worry about this fucking asteroid. Like, for real, dude. Like, let's worry about this asteroid right now.
Yeah.
If you save that asteroid, we'll let you put Wi-Fi on Mars.
Yeah, which we might talk about that a little bit next time. On the next one is the asteroids, and because the last podcast we did, Beatty was talking about that they've already blew one up. I hadn't even ever heard about that before.
Yeah.
That was all new to me. So that'll be interesting.
But it's it's like 4 years away. Like, it's going to take a year to get to it right now or so. Like,
Yeah.
we don't think we might want to get on that?
Yeah.
Just in case. What if we bump it and we put it on the wrong? Then we're going to have to bump it again. You got you like really should be prepared to bump it 3 times. Like, you need to get on it because even though it's moving closer.
Dude, this has our united. We're not gonna. It has our government dealing with this stuff, so they're gonna mess it up somehow or another. It's what they do, and so but not leaving on a negative note though.
Nah, man. Like whoever, whether it's Elon or whoever, that figures that out. Do you know how much they can charge? Like they literally charge. Like, hey, I know how to alter an asteroid, guaranteed, money back guaranteed. They'd be like, what do you mean money back guarantee? Be like, oh, I'm not going to alter it if y'all don't pay me.
That's right.
Like, how much you want? Like, how much has the world got?
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally saving the world.
How about what's after $1 trillion?
So I know it goes up 6 trillion is 1, 2, man, it's like 18 numbers, I think.
Really?
Because believe it or not, when Tina and I first started dating, she, from playing poker, well, I thought we was playing for real money.
Oh.
She at one time she owed me $6 trillion. She thought I was bluffing. She wouldn't. She's like, how? I was like, I bet 100 billion. Like,
That's hilarious, dude.
And because when we got that number, I was like, look, you need to start kicking me some money on this money that I've won from you. I was like, I guess I'll start with everything you own for starters. That's not even going to like scratch. That's not even a scratch on it.
Well, so you're the richest person in the world then, because she owes you that much money.
Well, I lost it back to her. So but at one time, yes, I was worth $6 trillion. It was on paper or on maybe even on text message. I was worth $6 trillion.
We need to go and update your Wikipedia file then.
I don't know where my other. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Just to close this out, how many?
Excuse me.
How many zeros are in 6 trillion?
A sextillion is written with 21 zeros.
Man,
21 zeros.
that's a bunch of zeros.
Yeah, 9 is a freaking lot.
Wow.
6. How many was it?
20 something?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
enough.
Yeah.
That'll do.
I can make ends meet from now until the end of time.
I think so too.
All right, guys. This has been super fun. This is different. Like who? I couldn't go back and hang out with myself like time travel. I'm trying to most likely either Brady, Elon, Snoop Dogg or Joe Rogan are my most likely. Maybe Amy Lee.
I think that on my list, I think that Joe Rogan would be one of the top ones if I was gonna put the list, because I just think that he's one for especially people that are alive. He's who everybody wants to talk to, and I mean, some of the people
that makes me
on the
not
show.
want to do it. But like I said, I have I have a message that I would love to use his. That's why I
Platform.
picked him. Yeah, about the monkeys.
Yes.
Like I don't know about everybody's monkeys, but I do know about mine, and I understand that business and
Yeah, we
there's
might
a
have
lot. There's some lot of we can do like
just do a podcast one day. Maybe
exotic-
we'll
not
do
just
one.
monkeys, exotic animals.
Yeah, I'm down with doing one of those. We'll see. That'd probably hit up the fan base a little
All
bit
right.
too.
So I have 2 softball games tonight, 2 tomorrow night. Got a doubleheader both nights.
All right, knock a homer, Pete.
I'll be probably close to 16 at bats. So I should be like 14 for 16.
Nice. And
Right.
speaking of Pete Rose, he's eligible
Yeah,
for the
he'll be in
Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So I bet you, I'm saying it now on our podcast, Pete and Chris, that next year Pete Rose is going to be in the Hall of Fame. I think.
was Joe Jackson too. It might take 2 years.
You think it's going to take 2?
Maybe.
I don't think it is.
It shouldn't. I mean, they should. He was banned from baseball because the thing about it is you have to pay to get into it inside the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It's like a Pete Rose room.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I seen somebody on something talking about. I guess it's true.
Really?
But yeah, they've got the bat that he broke the record with, and there's like all kinds of stuff in there. But he's not in the Hall of Fame.
That is insane.
Dismissed.
Yeah, but he'll be there next year. Calling it first right here. I don't know if it's first, but I'm calling it.
That's who I got my nickname from. So how you like me now? All right, guys, have a great week. We will see you guys. We may do something Saturday night, possibly.
Possibly. We'll put an update
I'll
up
let
if
you
we
guys
do.
know on Monkey Blues Facebook Lives and stuff. We'll make some posts. All right, everybody have a great day. Peace out, and
Take care of that mental health. We'll see you guys next time.
all right, see you guys.